Hello, and let's keep Tucson cooking. I'm Jennifer English, and I'm a proud Tucsonan. And as a James Beard Award winner, I'm very proud to call Tucson home. The city of gastronomy, named by UNESCO, not only for our rich, abundant array of culinary traditions and legacies and restaurants, but because for 4,000 years we've had a tradition of continuous cultivation of food. We know how to survive. We know how to survive together. And thanks to the Tucson Metro Chamber of Commerce, there's a new program that is going to continue to help restaurants and restaurateurs sustain the viability, the vibrancy, and the essential aspects of our cuisine culture that make this place unlike any other place in the world. A new program, Keep Tucson Cooking, which can be found at keeptucsoncooking.com, is going to allow all of us to support our local restaurants with both dine-in, takeout, and other traditions. Perhaps there's no more famous restaurant in the legacy and tradition of Tucson than El Charro. On the cusp of a 100-year celebration anniversary, the 99 years of excellence, cuisine, family, and of course history are coming into focus. And as we all prize the institutions and legacy traditions that El Charro has brought for us, from the downtown El Charro to the brand new, no organization demonstrates those aspects that we're aligning and celebrating in Keep Tucson Cooking, from our history and legacy to our future, more than the Si Charro brands. Joining us now is the executive chef, Gary Hickey, and he is, I'm going to guess, at the beautiful Charro Vita location. How are you, chef?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Well said. That was an amazing intro. You're always so eloquent. I appreciate your words.
Let's go back to sort of the big idea, which is, we've got an essential aspect of who we are as a community, wrapped up and defined by and celebrated by and expressed by and manifest by our hospitality and restaurant industry. Can
Absolutely.
you talk a little bit about how important the culinary dimension of our community, culture, and economy are?
I mean, it's so embedded in our DNA in Tucson. To celebrate, restaurants, being out, celebrating families, from, quinceañeras to birthdays to rehearsal dinners to graduations to what have you, to it being a Tuesday and, you had a good day at work. I think it goes without saying that Tucson restaurants have always risen to the occasion to take care of our community. And I think, El Charro has proven that over and over again for, 99 years.
I want to ask two parts, and I'm so excited to talk to you, and thank you for this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk 99 years. In 99 years, the Si Charro family, the Flores family, the Flynn family has learned a thing or two about perseverance and surviving during any number of difficult times. But this is unprecedented. What kind of lessons from the legacy of Si Charro's success for 99 years can you share with all of the chamber members and all of us about how to get through this period of time?
It was a strange day when we found out we had to shut down. We saw the writing on the wall, and you can never plan for something like that. You can pivot as much as you possibly can, but you never know what the outcome is going to be. And I think our biggest strength through the entire process was our transparency with the community, and our partnership with the chamber and the local groups that kept our mission alive. We came out with the Si Charro 100-point plan, which we stick to stringently in all of our restaurants to make sure that our guests are safe. And I think that was the big takeaway from everything, is we wanted to make sure that everybody felt safe, and transparency was at the root of that, and making sure that we were honest with ourselves and making sure that we were safe to begin with, and then kind of moving forward and keeping Tucson cooking. There was days when I'd sell, one burger, and it was hard. It was really hard to just be in the restaurant by yourself, and you have a wife at home that's unfortunately at home not because of choice, but because her restaurant is shut down and she's on unemployment, and you don't know how to explain to her that I have to go to work because I have to. If one person wants a hamburger or if one person wants a meal kit, I'm there for them. And, and the community was amazing. Then they supported as much as they could. And when they couldn't, I would get messages or text messages or phone calls. Hey, we're thinking about you. Good job. Keep up the good work. And, it was definitely a very, very rich experience in building camaraderie with the community.
You all have been a very integral part of the Restaurant Advisory Committee. Can you talk a little bit about how important the Tucson Metro Chamber has been in helping Tucson's restaurant community and how important the Keep Tucson Cooking program is?
Oh, yeah. I mean, besides being amazing neighbors, I'm lucky enough to live across the street from them. Amber's just amazing. She's so active and making sure that, we're always abreast of, what's coming up, and, obviously raise a pit bull when it comes to community activism and, and them just eating in the restaurants. I mean, that was the big point. They were always supporting us financially as well as, professionally.
What are some of the most important assets and resources that the Chamber has made available to you that has helped you stay stable during this unusual period of time? Are there certain ways that they've helped in particular relative to these dynamic changes in the regulations at every jurisdictional level, or is there a communication piece that's important to you?
I think you just said a communication. They gave us a voice where we didn't really have one. And I think they were integral in that, making sure that our voices were heard when everybody else was kicking and screaming. Sometimes, small businesses or locally owned businesses kind of get pushed aside or, get a blanket thrown over them and hope they'll be okay. So, but I think, that's definitely giving us a voice in the community and, on the Pima County Board of Supervisors. And that was Ray. He's like, I'm watching you. Okay. And I think that was the biggest from my aspect. I know there's a ton of stuff out there, but when you have somebody in your corner, you can continue to fight the good fight. And that's always been what we've, as a restaurant family, have learned, is that maybe a lot of the restaurants that kind of unfortunately went away, they just didn't have anybody in their corner to lean on through these hard times. So definitely appreciative of all the support and giving us a voice in the community.
I also want to go and highlight some of the things that you all at Si Charro, at the El Charro, Charro Vida, Charro Del Rey, and Charro Steak have done particularly effectively. You've really mastered the ability to allow your customers to continue to enjoy the cuisine in their own home, either in a kit experience or a to-go experience. And I wanted to know if you could talk about how important the takeout part of our relationship with customers has been, and how important it is through this program of Keep Tucson Cooking to remind people that takeout is vitally important at this time. Can you speak a little bit, because you've done some really innovative things, and frankly, your food travels really well. And you figured out how to improve its portability as well. So you've really been like hitting like all my make that points.
I got to tell you, I've been doing this professionally for 35 years, and I thought I knew a lot about the restaurant industry. I thought I knew as much as I could possibly cram into my little brain. And then COVID happened, and we had to pivot. And I got to say, without a doubt, supply chain was one of the biggest helps. Shamrock Foods, obviously, our partners and broadliners, and a lot of people don't know this, but Shamrock Foods was actually born in Tucson the same year that El Charro was born, 1922.
Oh, wow.
So they're, they might be a bigger national brand now, but they're still hometown heroes to us. And, working with our purveyors and, finding the right packaging, we never would sit in a room and talk about packaging for hours on end and, putting applications or, making enchiladas, putting them in a box and then driving to Sarita and trying them. And, there was all those things we had to do to make sure that, if this person, our guests, are leaving their home, leaving their safety net, that they're coming into our restaurants to pick up food to take home, that it will be 99.9% as good as if they were sitting in our restaurants with us. So, it's a learning curve. It still is. And, I do have to give it up to our supply chain for, keeping those. There was definitely some times where, we might not have to-go boxes tomorrow. And, somehow we ended up with to-go boxes because, we needed them. So big shout out to Chris Ehlers and Ed McGuire over at Shamrock Foods for always keeping us and keeping Tucson cooking.
I've got to mention that Chef Carlotta Flores,
of course,
who is the doyen of the Arizona culinary community and certainly of the Tucson restaurant community, has been really inspirational to so many people. And I know that one of the most important things to her and to you and to the entire Flores family has been your team and taking care of your team. Can you you mentioned briefly at the beginning, the Si Charro 100-point plan. And I don't want people to mistake that it's something related to the 100th anniversary, that it
Right.
really is 100 steps that you take and you implement to ensure the safety of everybody. And then concurrent with that, you also are really good about keeping as many people employed continuously as possible. Can you talk to those things for us? Because those are the core of allowing a business to survive and thrive.
Yeah. Probably touch on, we tried to keep as many people on as possible. I mean, we are still a family-owned business, so at the core of it, I know it hurt me deeply, and I know it destroyed Carlota and Raymond physically and emotionally to have to lay people off. Luckily, there was, all the government help for them, and we brought back as many people as that wanted to come back. A lot of people found another path in life, and we're grateful for that, and they're happy doing what they're doing. But it was definitely painful to have to line up people that I spend more time with than my own family and tell them, I'm sorry, but we don't have a restaurant to open tomorrow, and I'll let you know when we're like, maybe 60 days, we were very optimistic at the beginning, and then, 9 months later, we're like, we love you, please come back. So, we kept as much of the team as we possibly could. Obviously, we gave options to everyone that if you wanted to feel safe and you wanted to stay home and you wanted to be furloughed, please take that option. We never asked anybody to put themselves in danger, and that kind of leads back into the Si Charro 100 plan. And basically, it's just it's 100 steps that we take every day, all day long, from the time the guest enters the front door till the time they leave, ensuring that the cleanliness of the restaurant, the sanitation of the restaurant, any factors that you might not even notice, like UV lights put into the filtration systems, touchless payment, touchless hand washing systems, touchless door systems, as much sanitizer as you could fill up a swimming pool in all the restaurants. I mean, everything that we could possibly do. I mean, there's 100 points on there. I could go through them all, but I don't think we have enough time. But and basically shifting our practices. I mean, we had we live by the Serve Safe model of restaurants and running restaurants per Serve Safe and Pima County Health guidelines, of course. But we wanted to do just a little bit more.
You're exceeding the standards that are established by the health departments and all the jurisdictional authorities. frankly, I keep saying this and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I trust my restaurant friends to give me an environment and experience that is the safest that is humanly possible, more so than I see at places like grocery stores and other outlets. So I have to compliment you because it's not easy. And frankly, you make it look easy, but it's not. It takes a lot of care and it takes a lot of work. I want to reach out to you as my friend in the business. And an organization like the Chamber is, you're in an organization of friends in every business, but as my friend in the business, the restaurant business, I want to have you give me a couple of tips about the things that travel so brilliantly well, things that are being prepared as deliciously as anything that ever came out of an El Charro kitchen, so that people can know, with all the array of options, what would you recommend to us, your friends, as our friend in the business, the Si Charro business? What should I be ordering to go to get the most incredible experience?
Oh, I mean, that's kind of, we're going to have to go concept by concept on that one. I guess we'll start with Charro Vita since we're up here right now. You know, the enchiladas are amazing. The jackfruit quesadilla tacos are a plant-based twist on the taqueria style tacos that everybody's kind of getting Instagram famous off of.
Well, the quesadilla tacos and the quesadilla in general is so swoon-worthy. It's irresistible.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I was pretty stoked that recipe came out the way it did. And we're working on some other stuff right now. The biggest thing we found with a plant-based lifestyle is that it's not necessarily has to be the healthiest food. Actually, a lot of vegans that we've found, and we actually employ a lot of vegans, they kind of lean more towards junk food just to get that comfort level. So we're kind of actually worked on a play on a Sonoran dog today that turned out really well. We did a kitchen sink kind of burrito where we kind of just went down the line and filled up a burrito with everything that was on it. And I mean, that was just absolutely amazing. So, but to switch gears, I mean, El Charro's exactly the same way. I mean, enchiladas, chimichangas, the ground beef tacos, obviously, the Reynosa chicken we get at least once or twice a week. It's my wife's favorite, and of course cheese crisps.
And the mole, I have to say, the mole. If I've traveled to Tucson and I want to feel like I'm home, the mole is just where I'm drawn like a home.
Yeah. Chicken mole, yeah. I always forget about that one. It's one of Amber's favorites too. So I gotta remember that.
It's so good. It's so good. And then, as our friend in the business, I have to ask you about the brand new Barrio Charro.
Yeah, I mean, so exciting to be working with Don. I've known him for 5 years off and on. We've crossed paths. We did a little project with the Del Rey dip on his baguette when Charro Del Rey first opened, and that was a fun little project.
It remains the greatest sandwich in the state of Arizona until you opened Barrio Charro, and then you floored me again.
Yeah, and just, it's hard, like his bread, our recipes, like pretty much no brainer, right? I mean, it's just. It is what it is. But I mean, it's been fraught with hiccups and growing pains, and we learn as we go. And we've never done a fast casual model except for in our airports. But airports, people just want to eat and get on the plane, and they don't really care about service or times or anything else like that. They just come in, grab food, and go. But we're learning a lot, and I think it opened up an entirely new demographic to the El Charro fan base. Because a lot of people were fans of Don's that had never eaten at an El Charro or Charro Steak or Charro Vita. And it opened up a whole new world for us, which is amazing because I get to meet all these people that have been standing in line for years for bread. And now they get to they don't have to wait to go home to eat it or wait till dinner or whatever. They get to actually sit in the restaurant or take it home and get to try, chili con carne on Don's Azteca bread, or the Poet's Plant, which is one of my favorites. It's a plant-based focaccia panini with the habanero salsa. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite sandwiches on the menu down there. And
let's tell everybody where Barrio Charro is located, where the original El Charro is located, and where Charro Steak are located. And even though it's a little impermanent because anything can change at any minute with regulations, could you please at least tell us what the hours and days of operation are?
Yeah, absolutely. So Barrio Charro is located on Prince and Campbell in the Campbell Shopping Center right behind Safeway. And it's in the old, I'm going to date myself because this is when I was in high school, but it's in the old Round Table Pizza spot. Every day from 8 to 3. Hours might be changing, though. We might be going 8 to 6 to try to get a little bit more of that dinner rush for the people going back up the hill. Charro Vita's open up daily from 11 to 7:30. El Charro is open daily from 11 to 8. That's all 3 locations, Skyline and Kolb, McGee and Oracle, and of course Franklin and Court. And then Charro Steak and Del Rey are open Wednesday through Sunday from 3 to 9 p.m.
Offering, among other things, the very best burger in town.
How was your burger? You had burger last night, didn't you?
Oh, it's insane. It was so good. It was just crazy good. I'm going to give you the last word, however, and I just don't think I can overstate in the program for the Tucson Chambers, Keep Tucson Cooking program, how integral the Si Charro family of restaurants are to our economy, to our culture, and to our community. And I want to give you the last word about how the partnership with the Chamber is really pivotal to how you got here to 99 years and how essential it is to the future of the Si Charro brands.
I mean, it's just great to have a partner in the community that understands what the speed bumps are, what the barriers are, and kind of puts up a fight to knock them down. And like I said before, it gives us a voice where there usually isn't one. Up until probably the last year or the year before, I didn't really have any participation in with the chamber. I didn't really. I mean, I know they'd come in the restaurants and I'd shake hands and kiss babies and whatnot. And but no, they've definitely been a huge part of my life. And from everything I just previous mentioned to supporting the restaurants, actually eating in the restaurants daily almost, and coming out to Charro Steak and Del Rey to celebrate birthdays and stuff like that. It's just an amazing partnership.
Gary, I'm going to ask you to do me one favor before we say goodbye. Would you look right into the camera and tell me your name, where you're from, and say, Keep Tucson Cooking?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, thanks.
Hi, I'm Chef Gary Hickey. I'm born and raised in Tucson, Arizona, and I want to keep Tucson cooking. I got to shoot that again because I said Tucson.
You didn't say Si Charro either.
I know.
I loved how last night when you were getting ready for service, I heard you and your crew really become the team that you are. And it's so essential because bringing people together is so important. And the Chamber does that. The Charro family does that. The Flores family does that. You do that as a leader in that organization. I want to thank you for everything you do, from knife fight, from gut, from all the things you do above and beyond for feeding our heroes. I mean, we didn't even talk about feeding.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get into the firefighters.
Do you want to just give a quick mention?
Oh, it was kind of a right when COVID broke out. It was a little bit of give and take. A lot of people don't know this about us, but we are a USDA factory, and we do have contracts with national broadliners where we produce food that gets shipped out 3 times a week to different states. And as soon as COVID happened, production levels were pretty high, so we had to figure out what we were going to do with all this food, and helping the first responders and tamales for heroes, and feeding the firefighters. And I mean, they've been great. I mean, if anybody gets a chance, come see the axe. I'm so proud that I got to hang it at my restaurant. I thought it was going to go to El Charro for sure, but it's in the Mesquite Room at Charro Steak, and it's one of my one of my crowning achievements. I have a lot of accolades and stuff around that restaurant. It's kind of my home away from home, but the fireman's axe is probably my favorite.
So we're going to do one more. Tell us who you are, where you're from. And
Hi, I'm Chef Gary Hickey. Hi, I'm Chef Gary Hickey. I'm from Tucson, Arizona, from the Sheets. See, you're putting me on the spot. I'm more of a natural kind of talker.
You're a man, yeah. Come touch my table.
All right, here we go. Hi, I'm Chef Gary Hickey. I'm from the Si Charro brand of restaurants here in Tucson, Arizona, and we want to keep Tucson cooking. Nailed it.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.